Welcome to our session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session on research. This session, we have an amazing speaker with us, Dr. Urvish Patel. Dr. Patel holds a Doctor of Medicine and Master of Public Health and Biostatistics. His areas of interest are neurology, internal medicine, epidemiology, and biostatistics, global burden of disease, translational medicine, and clinical research education. He has received his training in the outcome, survival, predictive, and cost effectiveness analysis and management of the clinical trials. He has developed the expertise in systematic review articles and meta-analysis, analyzing clinical data from hospital registries and the national databases. He has successfully completed 150 plus projects with 2,000 independent citations. Under his lead authorship, any of the projects have been awarded prestigious AHA Junior Investigator Award, AHA Stroke Minority Travel Grant, AHA Paul Dudley White International Scholar Award, and many other awards. He has been recognized by media like Practice Update, Consultant 360, and Medscape. His skills and interests are into neurology, transitional medicine, and clinical research education. He also has a lot of software knowledge in open meta-analysis, SPSS, and other things. I will now let Dr. Patel take the stage.
Good morning, everyone, and good evening for the students in India, Pakistan, and other part of Asia. My name is Dr. Urvish Patel, and as Dr. Yadav described, that my interest is in clinical research and how can you utilize clinical research for the various purposes, not only for the academic career, but also to achieve academic success. Today, I don't have any other conflict of interest, but I would like to definitely put one more thing here before we begin our presentation, that whether you are planning your journey in United States or you are planning to continue your journey in India or any other part of the world, the most important aspect in terms of clinical research is why would you do that? Every single time when we are going with our aim, there are different aim, but you can achieve all those aim through the path of the clinical research. So this is one of the very crucial component when we are trying to develop our career in the field of medicine. Now let's begin our journey with the what does it take to be a doctor or to be being a doctor and practice a doctor in the USA. I mean, because you all joined this session, that clearly tells me that you are interested in USA. So I don't need to sell that slide to you because you are already have decided that you want to practice in USA. Usually this presentation, I keep it for the people who are a little bit confused between USA or UK or versus India or any other home country. So this is very important slides that makes your mind very clear that, okay, if I want to practice, then I only want to practice in US and develop my career. So the most important part is the US is the forefront in the field of medical care. We are having great institutions doing research as well as practicing in the field of medicine, surgery, plus a great pharmaceutical industry like Pfizer and Moderna work on many more cures, including the cures for the COVID as well. We practice usually the evidence-based medicine. So like a traditional books which we used to read in our home countries like India and other country, Harrison and Goljan and other books, we don't use that here anymore. What we use it in a day-to-day life is the evidence-based medicine and the publication part, as well as practice update and up to date and all those different media where we are getting updated protocols, updated medical doses, updated preventive care strategies, etc., etc. So most important thing is having updated knowledge is very important, and that will kind of, according to me, reduce the burden. You don't need to remember anything. Everything is written very well in a very well manner. So you just have to follow in a day-to-day life, whether you are in a first day of residency program or last day of your service. Everyone is new in the field of medicine. Their experience works very well, of course, but guideline is clear and they strictly follow the guideline. That is the beauty of medicine here. Better work-life balance, great compensation, opportunity to train in the best institute and universities in of the world, and you are going to see the excellent professional and excellent leadership skills here, which can exactly train you the way you want. And of course, the compensation point of view, United States gives you the highest compensation. So now let's talk about quickly about what does it take in terms of making your overall career, beginning from a day one of the medical school to the last day of the residency. That is what the time span we are thinking about. So of course, you're going to work on the grades. I'll not spend much time on the slides because majority of the slides, you know, that this part basically you require excellent school good standing from the grades. Also, you require a solid foundation of medical concept. Plus, you are going to work on your step one CK OET exams, and you're gonna try to get ECFMG certification. Of course, before you get certification, you will be focusing a lot on finishing your clinical experience in US if possible. Then you work on a different presentations and research, and you try to understand the system by doing clinical research or US clinical experience. And then, of course, the day of the interview will come back, then it's going to be a communication skill, which play very crucial role. So the journey will start at the beginning of the medical school exams and will end with the day when you're applying for residency. This is like a roller coaster drive. And then I feel that start with the specifically with the step exams, and step exams are most crucial things. And step one score was very important previously, but after step one score is no longer available from this year application. So what you have it is only the CK score. Majority of the people applying on a first year or first time in the match, they don't have step 3 exam. So CK is the only quantitative measures to evaluate your performance. Especially there used to be even CS attempts too before, which little bit gives the idea to the faculty that how was your communication skill, what is the level of your communication with the patient especially. But now CS exam is also converted to OET, and OET pass and fail score like literally doesn't matter. Even though you have 5 attempts of OET, the person who is going to read your transcript will only see OET is given or not. If it's given, it's passed. If it's not passed, you don't release your OET thing, so that there is nothing that give you worry except CK score in attempts. And majority of the international medical graduates, they don't have at least attempt. They have lower score maybe, but they may not have the attempt. And if you have the attempt, then there are many ways you can overcome the attempt. But besides that, after you are done with this CK, you are having observership. That is going to be the most important part, which people do it before internship, after internship. Everything has their own name. We can discuss in detail later on, but we have internship concept, externship concept, we have clerkship concept, we have hands-on, we have observership, and now after COVID we have tele rotation. So there are plenty of the concept. Every concept is like a kind of similar and give you the healthcare knowledge, what is going on in the US, what are the software which we use it for writing history, patients examination, and all those things. That is the main concept. Then you are going to work on your letter of recommendation, you're going to work on your research interview, and then of course at the end the goal is very clear, is the match. By the way, one more thing I would like to emphasize here, the enjoyment is not in the last day of the match. Of course it's an end goal, but you are going to really enjoy this journey. The more you enjoy, less frustration, depression you will be having it. Some people end up in the journey, let me tell you, even before visa. I have someone who matched last year. He has not even having visa, everything done in India, followed by that tele rotation, LORs and research and everything done in his room. And then he applied for the residency and match, because there is no requirement of CS exam, or step 3 was not given. 250 scores are enough to make sure that he or she match. But compared to that, someone's journey is like 10 year long, 15-year long. I have people who match not only after MPH or something like that, but also they did PGY 5 and 6 before, or 4, 5, 6 in adolescent cell psych, or they did it something like geriatric fellowship and things, and then they enter in residency program. We also have people finish it PhD and then they jump back to USMLE journey. So journey varies between like 1 year to all the way to 6 to 7 years, and somewhere mean time or mean application time is 2 times to 3 times. So that is usually people apply before they match. So because first time they're like completely blind what they're doing. It's a learning process. So enjoy the journey more than you enjoy the last day of the match. Okay, so what is the most important thing before you think about anything? Research, we are coming very quickly to research as well, but important thing is timeline. Why I'm focusing on timeline right now? Because I noticed that when it comes to research, only the thing is hampering us together as IMG is the timeline. People finish CK exam a day before their application and they still want research, they still want rotation, they still want everything. That's not how it works. So most important thing is to work on your timeline. Another important thing is to work on visa. And third important thing is work on cost. Why visa? Because even though if you are having everything done, but you have 3-time, 4-time emergency visa rejection, that will create trouble when you're going to apply on H1 or J1 after you match. So clearing timeline, clearing visa, and cost structure is the only factor I feel can stop you to practice in United States. According to me, not step one, not anything else. You know why? Because if you have all these three things clear, then only thing which you are going to work on, you are going to work hard on your steps. You're going to work hard on your clinical rotation and your research, and you're making connections, but still it will not stop you to move forward. I have noticed that people apply like 3 times, $4,000 to $5,000 application fees. Every time their application is incomplete. And at the end, when it comes to making their application complete, they have issue with the cost structure. So make sure you clear, first of all, three concept: time, visa, and cost. Everything else will follow. Okay, because you are hardworking people, that means we have capacity to take care of rest of the thing by our stress. We are good to take care of the stress. Now, another important aspect which I emphasize here: after the exam, after the ERAS application, after the interview session, this is another most important factor: strategy planning between September to March, which we call it intra-season, and strategy for April to August, outside the season. Because people think that match only work during April to August. Everyone will start knocking the door of hospital between April to August, and they will not do anything other than interview season, but will not give exam. They may prepare, but they will not give exams. So ultimately they're going to forget, and then they're going to repeat the thing during April to August. So during September to March, what you are going to do will decide not only that year, because you are going to send them in February, the flagging them the choice. And if in interview you are going to speak something what you did in September to March, then only you are going to focus on ranking yourself higher in the list, even though after you have interview. Majority of the conferences we will discuss coming also up in September to March. So what does it mean? That if you are very cold in that session, that means you are going to submit again your work in August to September, which will not publish next year. So timeline and strategy both plays a very crucial role when it comes to research. We will discuss that, but make sure this overview, you keep it in your mind, that important things are timeline, appropriate timeline. I don't want you to push a lot. People push themselves a lot. They have every 15 days new timeline and they are keep changing. No, make a genuine, legitimate, proper timeline which will not create stress, which you can enjoy actually. And then plan everything in a way until not only you apply, but after application, your second season will start, which is the making sure that whatever interviews you are getting it, that interviews goes well. Now in statistic, we are having very popular terminology, modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors. So here we are having same thing, what factors you can modify, what factors you cannot modify once it is out. So according to me, if you are having USMLE scores and attempts, we cannot work on it because it's there, it's out. You cannot change it again. Visa status, if you have 2-3 time rejection, then you cannot work on your visa status. I have seen many people because of visa, they got rejected. They applied many times, and I myself rejected in visa for two time, I think, and the third attempt I got it. So it's a panicking if you don't get the visa. Not only that type of visa, in the evening we will be having another session, how to develop your visa career journey in United States. So stay tuned and attend that session as well. So visa status will be very important throughout the day you are practicing, from the day you enter to you practice. Now there are interestingly in USMLE journey, now we are having many modifiable factors. Now what are those modifiable factors? US clinical rotation, the way you are doing clinical rotation, whether it's inside the hospital, in hospital setting, or outside the hospital in private practice, or you are doing it through tele-rotation, because tele-rotation never ever possible in the hospital. There is no possibility I will put the camera and then walk in the Mount Sinai or anywhere and let you show that what is going on in the hospital. That's not possible. So tele-rotations are usually outpatient. Of course, everything has its own value, but we put the values in terms of core clerkships, which is good for US IMG. They do their third year and fourth year core clerkship in United States. That is our third year, fourth year of medical school. Then second, after that, you are going to have externship. Externship is a form of internship which you are doing outside your hospital, whether in another city, another state, another country, or anywhere in the world. That we call it externship. So here we call it US externship. If that's not possible, then go after being IMG, hands-on clinical experience, which is you are doing as extern only, but still it is considered as a hands-on after you become IMG. The level of the training is decided between you and your mentor who is giving you rotation, basically. If that is not going to work, then outpatient. If that is not going to work, then tele. But something has to be done, and minimum should be done for 3 months for 3 letter, or it should be done for 6 months, 2 months per letter. We depend on that, whether it's a free, then do it longer, whether it's a paid, do it shorter. And that's why I usually recommend that, hey, do it from good institute like Cleveland or university level or hospitals, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, because their costly varies between $3,000 to $5,000, right? But then your last rotation, you can do it very long to somewhere where LOR will be of 3 months to 4 months to 6 months. Because when they're writing LOR, there are 2 types of LOR. One is the just generic LOR, copy paste and then give it to you. Another thing is, because they spend the time with you for more than 3 months, then in that case they can write a personal touch, personal LOR, where it is written very well that during those months, what did you do, what makes you different than other candidate. So of course the LOR, even though I write LOR for myself, it's not going to be exactly same the way if someone is writing for me, because I tried myself. I write 3-4 LOR for myself and I compare, and when I give it to someone American physician, then they are like, the pattern is coming same, it's a redundancy in the pattern. And I was like, I can't see redundancy. It's like, no, it's a redundancy. It looks like that it is given touch by same person. And then I was like, no, I think physicians should be writing so that everyone has different mindset. So that is very, very important. If physician is not having time, then person who knows the physician, who knows you in the middle, they can write it for you. But this is a really good way that to have clinical experience. Other thing is, of course, modifiable factor, but that is clinical experience. Again, this is gonna cost money. So the affordability of visa, affordability of the traveling, affordability of living expense, again, it's a cost management. So put it in your calendar, yes or yes, that what time you want to do all those things, plus how you are going to afford. And that is also important. And after that, you are done with your finally letter of recommendation. So your task after exams are done. Now the issue is, now you have rotation, now you have all this exams. So now what are you going to do? You are going to end up with the research part. Now we have a few options in the research. The option, the great research, I can say the top-notch quality of the research. Of course, you're going to have a research degree of Masters of Public Health, Masters of Science Clinical Research, Masters of Epidemiology, and more. Those are, again, time commitment required. Those are more in terms of money, and those require dedication. So up to you if that is going to be the good part or not. We all did pass through the MPH journey. There are several reasons to do that. Some people, again, are doing for visa. Some people are doing for low score. Some people are doing it for making sure after they are entering in academic, they have more quick success. So again, reasons are different, but that is a one good option you are having it. Followed by that, if you don't have money, but you don't want money, then do long-term research fellowship. That is probably between 6 months to 1 year. I have not seen many fellowships, but still research fellowships are available for 1 year, at least minimum at 1 year. Another thing is, if you are having home country residency, must you have to do clinical fellowship, which is going to be utilizing your home country's residency, directly giving you PGY4, geriatric, nephrology, ID, what do we call, adolescence and child psych. Those fellowships are available directly, and your salary, your national provider identification number, your limited board license, everything will be given to you. So that is the best option to make your CV. Another thing is learn by yourself. Research education and publication. Now, of course, publications are having many different types, from original research to case report to literature review, systematic review, meta-analysis. But you can learn by yourself. You can make your team, work in a team, and publish the work, and try to go to conference and present the work. Now, why I emphasize more on the here and not here? Of course, you require education and publication, then you will go to conference. But the goal is this. Goal is not this. Why in research the goal is always for the presentation part? You are going to do all these things for one thing: context and connection and networking. Sometime because of filter, your CV get filtered out. Now your goal is to put the CV inside the filter so that it will be available on program director's desk. Now, how can you do that? If someone is going to recommend you, then PD will even take a 1 minute on your paper, on your CV. If 1 minute is given to your CV and your CV is having that spark, that can give you interview. And then in interview, you will have a lot of talk to do with the person who's going to take your interview. So that talk require experience, and experience only give you more content of the speech. Interview should not look like, oh no, you are asking me yes and no, I'm answering yes and no. No, it's an open-ended question with open-ended talk. It's like a dating between two people. It's exactly like dating between two people. And if they feel that no, I have good connection, then they will keep doing your interview, and then they will make sure that you will be getting the response that you should be having it. So the presentation is most important thing here. You go to conference, you meet people, you make connection. I tell them how many ways you can make connection so that you can literally sell your CV. One, if your spouse or your family is in the program. Second, if you are having great seniors who are ready to help and push your CV. Third, if you are having mentors or someone who were given to you through this all associations and networking. And finally, if you meet someone, if you pitch your ideas and things, if they are thinking that you will be helpful to them, then they will be helpful to you. So that can be done during 1 year of MPH connection, that can be done during long-term fellowship, that can be done during clinical fellowship, That could be done during conferences. So those are the only place where you are going to meet more people. You can be outside your room and meet more people, share your thoughts, share your ideas and everything. Then only you can able to make more connections. Okay. Now, why it is important to publish more, being international medical graduate. So this statistic is before step one was pass and fail. This year, first time step one will be pass and fail. So this statistic tends to go up, but we are not sure what will be the situation. We are going to take one by one very quickly so that you will be having idea. So basically, let me come like this way probably. So basically, this is the mean number of abstract, presentation, publication for international medical graduate. And we are having two category, USIMG, non-USIMG. Make yourself very clear, USIMG means the people who either born and brought up here and did medical school in Caribbean islands and came back. They are citizens of United States or green card holder of United States. They are called USIMG. Non-USIMG people who require either J visa or H visa, those are called non-USIMG. Now, there are some people in the middle of there who are either non-USIMG or no or USIMG. For example, the people who came here on student visa and we were having OPT for 3 years, OPT for 3 years, which is work permit. That means I don't require visa, but I'm not actually USIMG because I don't have green card. So they are not clear in which category they put the people like me. And I'm not clear too, because according to standard definition, I am non-USIMG. But the people who are having H4 EAD, the people who are having OPT, the people who are having J2, J2 EAD, for example, wife of a J1 or husband of a J1 resident, that's called J2 EAD, right? They all are work permits. You can do the residency on all of 3-4 things. They are green card EAD. So there are many things on which you can do residency. So we don't know that these people comes to exactly which category and where, because these are the survey, random survey. So they don't put all those details. So even though it's not there, I recommend people that keep yourself somewhere in the middle and work on considering and make your CV like non-USIMG. Don't take a risk of going for USIMG. So if you see here in internal medicine, for USIMG, the publication is between 2 to 3. I'm just giving you hypothetical number. So that's a 2 to 3 publication required for internal medicine. Neurology, it's 3 to 4. And family medicine, it's between 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. And it is very competitive in some of the field where there is not much requirement of the score. And what are those fields? Those fields are, we are having here pathology. People think I have low score, let's apply this year only in pathology. No, that's not how it works. They don't mind your score. I have the oldest graduate trained with me in pathology was 2006 from India. I have one Russian lady from 1994 graduation. And the youngest one will be applying in 2025, whom I'm training. But so that, what does it mean? That means you can't stand up tomorrow and say last year application was FM, followed by that IM. Now didn't work out anything. Now let me jump to pathology. No, that's not how that works. If you want to apply for pathology, if you want to apply for less competitive branch, then your second half of the CV, research, rotation, and all should be very strong, right? But for USIMG, if you see, everything doubles. Here is the publication number is 4 to 5, publication number is 10 to 12, publication number in neurology is 7 to 10. So this is the data which they are having it from the people who match, the people who didn't match. Now, why there is a difference between match and non-match, almost same, and sometimes even though if you will see that non-match have more publication, right? So that is a very common question people ask me, that what is the meaning of doing 7 and stay unmatched? There many factors are there. Even let's say, for example, I tell them that if you have attempt low score or year of graduation higher than 5 years, don't consider, oh, you are old graduate. Makes sense, but still The important thing is not that your application will be filtered because you're old graduate. Application will be filtered because you do not have step 3 and you are sitting in the exam, I mean, in the application. The bigger concern nowadays, people are having it in a social media, in a hectic life, burnout, COVID. If you enter in residency without step 3, or if you are and you are not having great scores and you are old graduate and you don't have step 3, or you are entering in a specialty like, let's say, psychiatry, let's say like pathology, which is away from internal medicine, and you are applying there without step 3, then the chances that in a first year of residencies you don't have time to write your step 3. And then some institutes are great, they will give you one more year, which is second year of residency program to write your step 3. But I have seen many people in the third year also, they don't complete step 3, or they fail later on multiple time in step 3, and program needs to terminate their positions. Plenty of them every year, 5 to 7 I encounter and meet and talk to them what should be done. So moral of the story here again, only publication or USC has no role if you are old graduate and no step 3, or you have multiple attempt and have no step 3. So that is the very crucial factor when people have research and if they don't match. So see, it's a balance between a few little bit of clinical experience thing, research experience thing, and finishing step 3. If you are thinking that you are old graduate and not finishing step 3 and still wants to apply, that means you're wasting $3,000. Better that you earn, you get more experience in your home country. In US, you work in a private practice and then get more experience and then apply. So that is going to be the better option. Now here, this data is around 1,000 people, 1,000 people's summary. This is like last to last year data. So here, if you see that, I would like to emphasize more on non-internal medicine here. Why non-internal medicine? Because internal medicine people write a lot many case reports, a lot many other things, and then still they able to get the exact number of publication what they want. Because when it goes to filter, sometimes they don't see it's a clinical trial, highest evidence, or meta-analysis, or observational study, or case report. In the interview, what you're going to discuss with them, that will leave the impact on program director's mind. It leaves you footprint basically. That time it will be important that it was a case you are going to talk about, or you are going to talk about clinical trial experience. So that time is going to help to give you interview. They will quickly filter out. They don't read much in detail that, oh, 15 publication, how many of 15 are, of course, they are in terms of clinical trial or observational study or original studies, right? In the interview, they will discuss all this factor. But of course, the publication should be balanced between all different spectrum, original studies to non-original studies, including literature review, systematic review, meta-analysis, case report, observational study, everything together. It should be presented in a conferences. It should be in poster and oral presentation was given. It should be having a publication in the journals. Manuscript writing should, full-length manuscript should be written. And you have to also take care of that. Your publication, more than 33% publication must not be in the same place. We don't want, every journals are great. Non higher impact factor to very high impact factor, everything is great. But also the thing matter that whether you are keep publishing in one place or you are keep pushing the boundaries. Try to keep pushing the boundaries by accepting your work in American Medical Association Symposium, American Heart Association Symposium. Total 17 different conferences, baseline conferences are there for specialties. You can choose 3 out of 17, become a member of them, submit your work there, go and meet them there. Even today, I attend every year 3 conferences by myself to make more networking at my level, right? So you go attend and meet people and then submit your work there and try to write it manuscript and publish it in a different journals, not one journal again and again and again. That shows me you are not ready to push your boundaries for higher impact, right? That's the only reason. You fail, but you need to push yourself. So that is pathology, which I would like to emphasize is like the ratio is like 6 and 10 here. Psychiatry is 5 and 3. Family medicine also nowadays, it's a less here, but after COVID, more American medical graduates wants to work from home. I've seen many people in family medicine and psychiatry work from home, and they do telepractices. That's only possible if you are in family medicine or neurology, sorry, family medicine or psychiatry. Many times, that's why they like now those specialty, and that specialties are becoming more and more competitive. So make sure, keep your brain very clear that, oh no, we want everything together. We want to make overall at least 5, 2 to 7 and 3 to 10, at least 5 to 6 publication, whether it's a case report, whether it's a literature review, systematic review, meta-analysis, observational studies, anything. We want to do that. Keep that in the timeline. Make sure you go and pitch your ideas, talk with the residents, fellow and faculty. So those people will help you for forwarding your CV, because even though someone is my cousin or my friend, if I want to forward that CV, I have to tell them that why I want them. It's not only sufficient to tell that he's my cousin or nephew or spouse, so give him or her residency. It's not enough. So you require every time a selling point, and every applicant have their own selling point. Could be research, could be leadership, could be having extraordinary connections. So those all things matters. Ultimate goal is, of course, to match. So research is one of the easy way to make connection. Rotation is easy way, and rotation used to be very easy when we used to get free rotations for 3-4 months in with the same physician. So it created a strong bonding. Even though they are having events at their home, they invite us. Those type of cultures were there before, but now what we notice that everyone wants 1 month of rotation. So that means 1 month. I don't think that connection you can make it that easily, except you are keep working with that physician later on down the road on publication. So I feel publication is something give you same bonding for a longer period of time. You will be in a connection with the same person for a really long period of time. That will create impact when you are applying for the residency. Now, another thing which many time I have encountered this question, that what is the importance of research in a community hospital versus university residency hospital or program. Now, I usually begin this question back to you guys. Think about, if you don't have money, you're poor or you're beggar, what is the value for you in terms of money? Will you appreciate more or will you not appreciate more? Of course, the answer is very clear. If we are poor, we appreciate money more. The same thing is, community hospital appreciate more research compared to university hospital. Why? Community hospitals are lacking with the skill. There are basic 4 skills of research. One is the research planning and documentation. Another thing is you are having it in analysis and interpretation skill. The third skill is publication skill, and fourth skill is grant and commission skill, which is getting money to fund your work. Out of 4, take one by one. Documentation and data skills, are there available in the community hospital? They don't have it there. University hospitals are having fancy system where they collect the data, we save it. They have $100,000 salary worth of biostatistician, and they have billion dollar grants to work on research. So being you as a first day of resident is useless for their program, because they are 20-30 clinical and research fellow working on their grants. But in community hospital, they still have academic positions, so they still have the hardworking people who can work, but they are not trained well. So if you are a resident in a community hospital in a very low socioeconomic status region, still you are going to get $700 for personal development fund, which you are using it for conference and research and your personal development. From there to residents and fellow getting $1,200 per year per resident fund. From there, fancy university hospital, from there, the faculty of community hospital get $4,000 to use on their research career. From there, up to $12,000, the fancy university hospital physicians are getting to spend if they have proper appropriate bill. What is it telling you? That is telling you that you are going to have the funding from all the way to $700 to $12,000 down the road once you become associate professor to do the research. But now question is, do you have skill, and why would I give you money to do the research? So community hospitals are having less resources, but there they want leadership roles in research, especially so you can prove yourself independently. I'm not telling you that you're going to run the march with just one person. You're going to make the deal. You're going to make the faculty and resident other colleague in your team, and then you decide your topics, you decide your skills, you decide your requirement, and so many more things. And then down the road, if everyone is going to publish something, then the mentor of those people will get right away promotion. 10 publication will give me non-tenure clinical assistant professor to tenure track tenure track assistant professor. 15 more will give me assistant professor to associate professor, and 10 more give me associate professor to professor. I am good if I am training 15, 20 resident throughout my lifetime. I got my promotions. So, and that is possible, easily done by a university hospital. It's difficult in community. So they will appreciate way more than university hospital if you can bring that skill on table. This is all about skills, how much you can help me. That way I will help it to you. So that first important thing is all academic faculty, whether it's a community hospital, whether it's university hospital, everyone do their research. On a basis of research, they get Medicare with Medicare funding to fund your residency, to fund your fellowships, and they show that thing as a accredited activity side by side. But because they have a lot of patient work, so they will expect you not to spend at least 70 hours on clinical, not to spend more hours on research, which makes sense. In let's say in university hospital, they don't tell you to work 70, 80 hours. They'll tell you, hey, work 50, 60 hours and then work rest of the time in research. They give you research electives too, because community hospital, if I'm talking about, can I get second year research elective? It's very tricky to get 1 month off. Basically, what is research elective? 1 month off. You're not doing anything other than going in outpatient clinic and sitting your home and working for that. Research electives are very important for second year residents applying for fellowship, because fellowship require tremendous amount of research, hemonc, GI, pancreat, cardio, all those faculty, all this. So you know, in COVID time, what resident used to do it, they have COVID, they have a symptom, they are like, no, I cannot come. And that 1 month of leave, they are taking it before their fellowship application, and they were spending research. So indirectly, people were thinking, oh, it's a COVID, and even it is a mild COVID. But indirectly, no one knows those residents are working on their application. So that's the best excuse they have it, because they don't have research elective month. But in university, you will get research elective month. So academic faculty needs that. They give you residents professional and personal development funds. Every presentation and publication is accredited by Accreditation Council of GME to graduates. So everyone, whether you are in India, whether you are in Pakistan, whether you are in UK, working on PLAB, or whether you are doing USMLE, you require publication to promote yourself and your CV. Right now, you just require basic skills of research to learn all this thing, which you can get it on a free social media anywhere through many other educational websites. Even our websites are having many videos on free content of how to get a basic research skill. So even though if it's not like that, oh no, you have to spend X amount of the money and join some program in order to learn the research skill. I learned a lot after I finished MPH compared to when I was doing MPH. So important thing is there is plenty of things available for you in terms of learning. Once you are ready after learning, then you need to know that how you can now apply. But learning and application, both can be important aspect. If you learn, if you don't apply, then there is no value. And if you apply but not having knowledge, then you will be screwing yourself in the interview because you just applied, or you have publication but you don't know what is going on in publication. Makes sense. So that is most important thing you need to learn and apply. Now you decide whether you want to learn and apply both together, or you want to learn first and then you want to apply. In my case, the journey was when I learned first for 1.5 years, and then I start applying for rest of the time, and then slowly I developed the whole CV. But I feel down the road that I wish I would learn and applied together to in a same time frame to save a lot of time. Because capstones, we call it capstone or thesis, which is only available to you once you learn everything. So try to reduce that duration. Of course, it's important for fellowship program, and fellowship programs are hell competitive. Cardiology, GI, pulm crit, hemonc is something where only number of publication will not work, because your number of publication is your number of publication. What I'm going to get benefit if I'm in the program. So I will be very frank that the question which they throw at you is, do you have capacity to do that for me or not? Simple. If I'm going to get benefit, you are with me. If I'm not going to get benefit, why would I have? People are there who are like way above the level of benefit, but your interview will be taken by 4 to 5 people, and the whole committee will decide that whether you are a great asset or not. Right? So research education is the only ultimate tool that can make you independent researcher. Being researcher is one part and independent researcher is another part. And the last but not the least is, even though you pass through all this journey of match, fellowship, etc., without your green card, without your visa, you cannot practice, you cannot stay in United States for a longer time. Currently, the EB2, EB2B, which every physician, 3,000 physicians on J1 after finishing, or J1 or H1 after finishing their residency or fellowship, they apply. Hospital make deal that 2 years work with us, 1 year work with us, then we will put your file. Another 1 or 2 years it takes you to finish your acceptance. After that, by the time you get your work permit, EAD of green card, it takes at least another 9 years. So here we are talking about 9 to 10 years after you graduate, you are going to have graduate from residency program, you're going to have or fellowship program, you're going to have your EAD or work permit or green card work permit basically. And then you become citizen, then you invite your family, or then you create ventures so that your tax 40-50% tax will go down. The easiest way to do or deal with situation, you're lucky because we are doctors, and that's why this is the timeline. But for engineers, it's 20 to 30 years. So, but the more easier way to deal with the whole situation, whole problem, is EB1A or B, which is Extraordinary Physician Scientist, National Interest Waiver Green Card. The session will be at, again, around 5 p.m. Central Time. We'll share with you the detail. So how can you work on a day 1 of your residency? And in a way, so by the 3 year of your residency and 3 year of waiver, 6 year, or 3 year of residency and 3 year of fellowship, 6 year, the day you finish your career, your Extraordinary Physician Scientist file is ready. On a basis of that, if you are Indian, then it takes, if the file is ready and you apply, on a basis of that, it takes 1 year to 1 year and 3-4 more months to apply for the green card, and your green card will be accepted right away. Or if you are non-Indian, then it takes only 2 months to 3 months to get acceptance, because the waiting period is less in other countries. So moral of the story is, your journey of research, according to me, stops at the day you become your green card holder or you become associate professor. Then everything's stable. Then you can think about, oh no, this is something I'd never like in my life, but I was doing it to achieve my goal. I achieved my goal. Forget about research now. But until that day, this is going to be lingered with you, and then it's not going to finish the journey. Now, how can we help you, or how can you help yourself? A simple strategy to learn the publication process. Not only learn, but learn in a very narrow timeline, because you don't have like 3-4 years to learn. So break into a very simple steps and then learn that, and then get the resources out of it, and make sure that you work on your projects. People work on their ICMR project, Indian Council of Medical Research, and still the publications are very, very powerful. They work in their quality improvement project in their country, especially in UK graduates, and the projects are powerful. So it's not like a published something within US, outside US, these, that. No, if everything has a quality, every work will be good to sell. It should be requiring quality. Why we emphasize that, you come to US, you attend US conference, work with us, so that you can meet more people in US where you're applying, you have more connection, and those people will write you letter of recommendation for research, and it's going to be like 6, 7, 8, 10 months of research LOR, so that your CV will be more stronger. That's the only reason. But otherwise, all publication have the value if you learn and publish in a timely manner. Okay, learn. One thing is basic research, which is, as I mentioned, that how to write the thing, how to collect the data, or how to analyze, not analyze, but how to collect the data, how to interpret the data, basic skills. Then you learn the advanced skill, how to use statistical software like SPSS, SAS, R, Strata, comprehensive meta-analysis, or review manager. Many softwares are there. So learn then advanced clinical research, and then apply those things in your publication things to make it easy, and to explain it well to the committee, so that they will impress by your work. Actually, 90% of the thing is done, 90% game is done when you can convince them you don't only publish, but you have that skills to publish as well, and you can repeat that whole thing again and again, right? Learn how you can have one idea and you translate that idea into viable publication or research. How can you do that? I'm in this field since 2014. My first publication was 2014. I have Excel sheet right now from 2014 to 2022, and 2023 projects are there. What I did was, I have every single year what projects I execute, 6 projects a year, that all list I keep it. And how I keep increasing the list? Simply by attending conferences. I see the idea. Oh, this idea is good. Do you think the idea is that, viability to do it, if I'm going to use it in my study or not? Or I have subscription of Practice Update. I have subscription for Medscape and all those things, which send me daily morning, just small, brief information of publication, clinical trial, observational study, every single thing. And I always think, I quickly read, whether it's orthopedic, whether it's a medicine or GI or OBGYN. I have publication in anesthesia as well. I have global burden disease paper as well. I don't know anything about what is the midday meal program budget in India, for example, but I'm still on board with them, so that I will have some innovative knowledge to learn, and then we publish that part. So every single thing, whether it's a OBGYN or whether it's a neurology or whether it's any publication, will give you some idea to utilize for your study. And then you will inquire more, and then you can think that idea can convert to viable project or not. Choose a good team. A good team should be having people, instructor or resident or attending. Not only they can lead you, but also they can teach you how to be the leader, and they can take a kind of guarantee of your work will not perish, your work will publish, and your work will going on. That's the last ultimate goal. Your team should be extremely strong, and if the team is strong, then you don't have to worry about, you just put the hard work and you will get the result later on, because your team is very strong and made up of strong candidate or strong people who publish a lot. Okay, so that is something most important thing. And I would like to recommend you to begin the whole process with the, if you are having several resources, we are having clinical research education free online videos. It's a bunch of videos from introduction of clinical research to QI and all those things. Go watch, and if you wish, then you can join us on every Sunday, same 10 a.m. free session of understanding of research in detail. If you have your own idea, have 15-20 minutes of appointment I give every day since last 3 to 4 years. 4 appointments at night. Of course, it's a night, but we have faculties, we have residents there, and whatever question they have it, I address them on a free statistical or biostatistical services. It's completely free, but there we exchange our thoughts, and we just give the advices that if that project could be viable at what condition. Okay, so this is all about clinical research importance, and I'm happy to answer whatever questions you're having for me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patel. That was very insightful and all the things everyone can learn from research. Thank you. So the questions we have for you is, like, you spoke about the strong letter of recommendation. And so what can be a strong letter of recommendation, and how does a student go and ask their mentor for that, because it's sometimes very difficult to approach them and tell them. So what do you suggest?
So strong letter of recommendation, I can divide into 2 categories. One is given to you on a strong letterhead itself, like university, hospitals, strong letterhead, no matter whatever is written, but it's a reputable source. That is called strong letter of recommendation. Second, the strong letter of recommendation comes from the strong content of the letter. And strong content will be only developed when you are having a good bonding. That bonding could take 1 month to 1 year, right? So you never know how much duration it's taking to have a good bonding with them. But strong content, that does not mean, oh, it's just the clinical, he wrote about or she wrote about the skills and everything. No, it also comment on skills. It also comment on your day-to-day personal activity and how I know you well as in a personal level. Whether you presented case report or clinical research with me, then also letter will have one more line or 2-3 paragraph on that one. So that content make the letter reach. So now you decide, if you don't have time, then you choose a strong letterhead. And if you have time, then choose a strong content. Both things require commitment. If I want Mount Sinai's letterhead and someone who's writing very personalized CV, a letter, then I need to spend 2, 3, 4 months with the person. And that is a research where you can, without even having payment, you can continue working with someone and affiliate with someone for a longer duration of time. That's why we sometimes give our students a remote research assistant position. That means you're going to be with faculty and team for a whole year. So whole year means it open too many opportunities for you to interact with them and to ask their personal life, to discuss your personal problems and everything. But that's a most important thing. Either it should be a strong letterhead or a strong content. So you can think about either or manner. And if both are there, then it's a jackpot.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. That was very insightful. So other question that we have for you, do non-PubMed index publications matter?
Okay, so there are 2 types of publication. One is indexed, which is called peer review, whether it's a conference, poster, oral, or manuscript. Everything, either peer review or non-peer review. Non-peer review also matters, but it's not much importance because of competitiveness of the current situation. So let's not talk about non-peer review. Let's talk about peer review. Now, in peer review, even though Humans of USMLE is one of the new venture, still Dr. Mansoori was telling me we will require peer review publication at the end of the symposium, which is going to be, we will be launching on 24th or 29th of October. So we are trying our best that even though Humans of USMLE conference, whomever is presenting there, we will try to make it peer review. So peer review has become now very important, whether it's a very small conference platform to a huge conference platform, right? So now peer review could be indexed by PubMed or peer review indexed by non-PubMed. Now, what is non-PubMed? That means Scopus, Google Scholar. We are having Indian Institute. We are having Chinese, some of the indexing thing. So there are like several indexing things. PubMed is having highest priority in United States. Why? Because promotion, when you're going, promotion will be decided on PubMed index publication number. But when you go with the green card, when you go with the residency, when you go with the fellowship, They don't care about PubMed versus non-PubMed, because UK never have the PubMed. PubMed is a National Library of Medicine of United States. UK use Scopus. Other country use something else. So being a part of PubMed index publication is a good thing. But again, if you're publishing case report or letter to editor in PubMed, it has no value compared, or less value, I can say, compared to if you're publishing original observational study in non-PubMed some other place. So again, the quantity and quality of the work also matter. They are asking in our ERAS application, peer review abstract / article, PubMed ID. Now PubMed ID or PubMed PMC, PubMed Central ID is ID given to you if you publish in PubMed, but if you see, it's not mandatory. So I tell student to write a DOI number there, and DOI number can replace your PubMed ID, or you can just keep it published. You don't need to write PubMed ID. That's fine. That is not necessarily you need to do that. The only reason why your goal should be focused on publication, not on a PubMed index publication, because when you are going with the large number of quality and quantity together, you will not able to achieve that. And PubMed index or PubMed Central index are also open source, and they charge you APC, article processing cost, up to $3,000 to $3,500. Begin somewhere between $400 cheap one to all the way to $3,500. It's a huge costing. So if you have funding and budget, yes, I usually prefer my publications in PubMed. Why? Because I don't care now, I have green card and everything. I care about more academic level. PubMed Open Index give you more citation, right? And if I have budget, why not? So again, it's all about how quickly you want. Make sense? And this is a trio. You want quality, you want the short period of time, and you want cheap thing. Three things never be possible to achieve on one hand. Either you will be having, this is quality, this is cost, and this is time. If you will get cost, if you want to spend money, and if you want less time, then if you don't want to spend cost, or if you don't want to give time, then you will not have quality. If you worry about quality and time, short time and good quality, then it will cost a lot. Open index, open source, which will give you in 15 days result of publication, like MDPI publication house, Elmer publication house, they produce the good quality work in a less timely manner, but then they are costly. So you cannot achieve quality, time, and cost together. If you want quality and low cost, then you have to work on time. Because in the beginning level, we have a lot many green card applicants require at least 15 to 20 manuscripts. I didn't have money for that much of publication by myself. That time I used free journals, and free journals take anywhere between 1 year to 2 years to publish your work. So quality, cost, and time, the trio, you can never achieve all three together. You have to compromise on one, at least on one. So that is the most important thing. So PubMed indexing is good, but don't emphasize a lot that I want indexing. And the people who are applying in their second year, sorry, the people who are doing research from their second year, third year, final year, by the time they reach to their residency application, they will have a actually publication in PubMed. If you are gonna go with the PubMed indexing, today you are finishing your CK, after 3 months you're applying, in 3 months if you want PubMed index, that means you're gonna get either compromise on the time, then you're gonna have to spend a lot of money on the cost, or you're gonna ruin your quality, which you're gonna write case report and literature review and publish in a low impact factor PubMed journal. We all run the thing, so we know the whole thing, how it works. But the important thing is, yeah, it's a good thing. Submit in Research Update Journal of Medicine, we just launched, right? We are having Indian APIS journal, we are having Curious, we are having so many journals. But then you are publishing, keep publishing literature reviews, useless. Don't do that. Instead of wasting your time in 15 literature review, do 2-3 literature review, but also spend your time in original paper and then submit it in a good journal and try to wait until it will come out. Make sense?
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Patel, for giving us such a streamlined path on research. So we had talked a few days back about the courses you offer. So can you just shed some light on how your courses compare the courses you give at Research Update, how
Right.
they compare with other similar courses that are available?
Right. I think that we can discuss in the activity of research updates activity. This is like a conference session, so it's a conflict of interest. So let's. This is the free right now. The educations, whatever we are having it here. But of course, Miss Lavado can discuss with you, and also I can discuss with you the courses and whatever the price line for resident, for faculty, for international medical graduates, everything together probably in a one more session. You can contact her, you can contact me. As I mentioned, we meet every Sundays, so that is going to be for sure. That's not going to be a problem. But yes, one thing is I would like to discuss: whenever anyone is providing you courses, whether it's a master's of public health or whether it's a $500 course which someone is giving it to you, see two ways. One, how much you are going to learn and extract the knowledge, and second, what quality you are going to get it. Is that quality important to sell your CV or not? That is the two important thing which you need to put in pros and cons manner, because sometimes courses are very costly. Let's say Mount Sinai MPH is like 50,000-60,000. But after doing MPH, if you're going to run the whole organization, worth, or you're going to get promotions and running so many different activity, worth. If you have zero publication, one poster presentation and graduate from MPH, I've seen such physicians too, not worth. Right. So see the amount, time, and costing, and anything you spend money on your personal growth is good. But if don't spend money on anything that, okay, you get it, you put it in the CV, there is no benefit of that down the road, then it's not worth. Make sense?
Makes sense. Got it. Thank you so much. And I
No
guess you
problem.
posted the link to register for the research update in the chat box.
Chat
And
box,
all
yes, I think,
these,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I let you can, with your phone you can scan this barcode too, which you can see on the screen probably, and I'm going to put the link right away in the chat box. That's fine.
Thank you so much.
Anyone?
Thank you, Dr. Patel. We have some questions from the chat box for you.
Yeah.
So one of the questions Dave Patel has asked is, what holds the most and least value, like case reports, retrospective studies, meta-analysis, systemic reviews, and in what way should they publish them, and how much time should they invest in working on them?
Right. So as we discussed, CK is most important priority. So I don't recommend anyone to do research during CK. I recommend people to do it now during step one, because it's just pass and fail. And by the time you finish your step one and research, then by the time you finish your CK, publication will be keep coming out. So that's how you can avoid timing issue. You will have CK, you will have 3-4 months of observership. So think about, you got 6 to 8 months extra if your whole research activity is done during your step one. During your internship, it's great, but during your step one, that's the best thing. Now, it should be balancedly done. If you want to do it, I recommend you do it one case report of your home country, which is most easy to publish, right? Then write literature review, one or two side by side, and make sure then you go with the meta-analysis, systematic review, and observational study. And followed by that, when you're doing rotation, if you get chance to collect the data of any clinical trial, it's really good, so that you can add it still in your other category of your publication. Other category of publication will help you to develop overall profile when it comes to talk. Once you secure an interview, of course, you're going to discuss something. So that time your clinical trials knowledge will be very helpful. And when there are 10 candidates applying for residency and waiting outside for interview, and when you will be asked that how are you different than other 10, then of course everyone is intelligent, everyone is hardworking, everyone is dedicated. That's why they are there. Everyone has research knowledge. So if someone is telling me I'm hardworking, it does not make much sense, because everyone are, and that's why they got interviewed. So something unique will be there to sell. If you don't have research, sell your MPH. If you have MBA, sell your MBA. If you have website development skill, I know someone who sold even a skill that, your website is very poor. You see that it's a delay, I have the IT skill. I can help you to develop the whole website for your community hospital. Many community hospitals did not have 7-10 years before their website even up and running. So any skill that make you different, everyone has something to offer, so choose, but do it in a balanced way. It's not like all case report or all literature review or all. So that is not going to be the issue if you are having everything balanced way.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. That was very insightful. So another question that we have is like how to, like these online resources are there which are free. Can you just look on them and do a systemic review by your own self? Or do you require a mentor while writing those things?
Right. So if you are having, let's say, knowledge, and then if you are going to proceed by yourself with the systematic review and meta-analysis, or a simple systematic review, you can definitely use the free resources. Do you require US affiliation? Answer is no. Do you require any type of affiliation? Answer is no. You can write by yourself. If the quality is good, then it will be accepted and published. But having US mentor, having US affiliation, that can speed up the process of publication. Otherwise, you do not require any particular affiliation or IRB documentation or requirement in order to publish those things. Now, when it comes to systematic review and meta-analysis, when you say, can I do by myself? Yes, I can do by myself. When I start writing literature review, I used to do that. I start writing literature review on Friday night and make sure I work everything. I eat in my room, finished by Monday morning before I go to work, and full literature review, I do it by myself. By the time the time pass, you don't have that much of energy. So I learned one thing from the experience, that don't do it everything by yourself. Make a small team and work with the team. And then that's the way you can finish up the procedure early. You will enjoy that, and you will make sure that something fruitful will come to you without putting much effort. So instead of I write, for example, from manuscript A to Z of the manuscript, instead of that, if I'm good in consultation or statistic or methodology or research analysis planning, then I can do that part. If someone is doing something somewhere else better, then they can do that part. So the best thing is, free resources are enough even to learn, but those are not enough to publish. So if you are having a good team, group of people with a similar mentality, don't think she's applying in pathology and he's applying in pathology, I'm applying, I'm not going to work, then you both will lose. So that's why being a team, your goal is everyone together match, right? That's the main goal. So yep, that's enough. You do it everything without any affiliation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patel, for this answer. And the next question that I would like to ask is for someone who has a fair bit of experience with research and who wants to upgrade his or her skills. Would you recommend learning a statistical software like SPSS, SAS, or Stata, and what would be the best way to go about it?
Right. So the basic skill begin with the documentation, getting idea, shaping the idea into viable projects, and making sure that that idea is not a copy from somewhere, but identifying the similar concept and trying to solve the gap of the current knowledge, right? So if you have that much of knowledge, and if you have publication, which is the end of the part, publication knowledge, then you really need to upgrade your skill to statistical knowledge, which is the last thing. Now, statistical knowledge is not like directly you jump on uploading data and analysis. Statistical knowledge begin with how to do analytical planning, which we call it like ghost table writing, so that when you are making ghost table and you give it to consultant statistician, he know or she knows that it's a chi-square, Cochrane Armitage, this. You should know what test you need to run for that. If you know that, your 50% battle is solved, because that is coming from your knowledge of statistics. And there are total 6 tests available in medicine, which we are using in a day-to-day life. If you know 6 tests, it's more than sufficient to do that. If you have statistical, that part of knowledge, then jump to analytical interpretation. If someone is giving you the whole output of 600 pages or 70 pages or 50 pages, when I do analysis or I help someone for student level analysis, the output varies between 60 to 100 pages. All pages are numbers. If it's a big project, then it goes up to 300 pages. So try to learn interpretation of those output by highlighting what numbers are important. Because if you mess up in a very small way, that means you are telling migraine is more common in male compared to female, just by a small error. Okay. So that is the second step in upgrading your knowledge. And last step is learning actually SPSS, followed by SAS, followed by Strata. Because SPSS itself is like 3-4 month worth of knowledge, because it's a software. Review Manager is a software. Comprehensive meta-analysis is a software. But SAS is a language. R is a language. Strata is a language. So language required 1 year to 2 year worth of knowledge. So down the road, divide even research section of TRIO into different subsections. Sections start with the knowing the test, interpreting the test, and then analyze the data. And then if everything is done, then you jump to what we are doing it, big data science. Big data science will not that's designed for not small data of hospital QI 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 or clinical trial. Big data science work with the million data, at least 30-40 million per year data. So that is the ultimate goal. If you want to learn SAS, then you apply on big data science. Make sense? Plagiarism while writing, Authenticate software is there. Authenticate, I'm not advertising, but this is what I use, and it's very useful for me to make sure that, and this is what majority of journals are using before. It's not free, of course, it's paid software, but it gives you exact word or exact line it is taken from, and it try to avoid your plagiarism errors. We are having one more thing. We are launching Research Update Journal of Medicine. It's going to be free, no APC. We are going for PubMed indexing after 2 years, but right now we will be indexed in Scopus and Google Scholar and other agencies. Once we put the announcement, feel free to submit your case report review, systematic review, meta-analysis, whatever you want, and we are open to evaluate early career students' paper, so that in a fair way, in a timely manner, so that they can publish their things in a free of cost in a large quantity.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. That was very informative. So in your presentation, you told that, everyone should go and present at conferences and interact. So some of the students face this difficulty that when you go to a conference, how do you approach an attending, that you don't come on too strong because you don't want to annoy them? So how can they do it better?
So when you are presenting your work by yourself, if you're just going and say hi, then it's not that feeling that easy or comfortness, right? But when you're presenting in a poster presentation or something like that, when you are standing, you will see 50 more people, residents, fellow faculty on your same line. So in the break, in the time when there is no one with you, you're gonna discuss those things with those faculties, those residents, and you're gonna discuss that, hey, I also have poster, I work on that. They would like to hear your stories because they want you to share, to discuss their stories as well. So it's like a mutual benefit that there is no one, let's talk to each other. So that's a one way you right away make the connection with a similar level of colleague, not IMGs, but these people are residents, fellow. In fact, the early career faculties, after a few years, they're not going to stand there. They will tell someone else to stand there. That is a straightforward one way. Second thing is that when I go to conferences, I was telling you, in a search of viable ideas, I just tick mark some of the presentations and I go to those places to see, oh, this is what, tell me what about this, tell me. So you will be seeing many more faculty passing through your booth or passing through your poster asking about your research. So that time you can make connection. These are two ways you are making connection right away. After that, you will make sure that some of the session or symposium of the conference, let's say American Neurological Association, we're having conference in 2 weeks, right? They are having not only program director and chairman symposium where everyone will be there. So you can directly knock the door and enter in the session and sit and relax and enjoy. And then you can ask your question. And after that, you can have one-to-one talk with these PDs as well. Because every single PD are assistant professor. They needs to go there. They need to maintain the CME. So don't bring your CV and just say that here is my CV. Can you please? No, that's not going to be a good idea. Once you discuss, once you talk about yourself and everything, bring your business card with the barcode on it, which will lead them to your LinkedIn account. And your LinkedIn account will be having your AMC number and ERAS application and all those things on your LinkedIn account. Google Scholar account. Make your Google Scholar account. So Google Scholar account will be tagged attached with your LinkedIn, like our Facebook and Instagram, right? So you can link there. And your business card is something I'm having my business card when I applied. This is like way of business card. You can have it, your photo, your name, and your detail, AMC ID and stuff. So, oh, sorry. I think I'm gonna stop sharing. Yes, like this. So you can have something like this and simple put a barcode here. So if someone scan, that can take you to your CV, and that CV will be constantly updated. So this is going to be easy for them to carry back to their hospital, instead of you give them long the CV and that it will not even reach to their hotel. It's going to be thrown in garbage. So that is another way. So there are several ways, as I mentioned. When you're presenting poster, different strategy. When you're not presenting poster, then go and meet other people in the poster session. And there are 3-4 sessions every conference where you're going to directly meet them. And it's not necessarily PD. Let me tell you one thing. In API conference, when Indian students join us, there is barely 1 or 2 PDs or chairmen. Then how are you going to get benefit of attending that? Because they're having people who pass through the same path like you, they understand your journey. So they're like, hey, don't worry, contact me after that. I'm going to give you rotation. Contact me after that. I have research opportunity for you. So no, the goal is never that I want interview. The goal is, how can you help me? If you have rotation, give it to me. If you have research, give it to me. If you are having power to give me interview, that give it to me. Anything. If I talk to Dr. Mansoori, then I say, like, teach me something about social media. I need more followers. He has something to offer. Why not to squeeze every knowledge, whomever you're meeting, right? So that is the goal. Ultimate goal should be like that.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. Very, very, very beautifully put answer. So there is something I wanted to ask, a question that is repeatedly being asked in the chat box. For someone who is just beginning his career in research, or just beginning research in the early years of his medical school, how can one develop those critical thinking skills of forming a research questions, and how does one go about learning to write a paper?
Right. So if you are in a medical school, then majority of the countries are having this research program within the school. So I was fascinated for research the day I was rewarded on a first time in my internship, when Indian Council Medical Research ICMR paper or the project get completed and accepted at one of the local cardiology conference, where someone from US came there to present, and my mentor is like, oh, let me, not mentor, head of department of medicine is like, let me take you to the conference place in my car. I was like, damn, that's good. I mean, doing the research, and I got direct access to my HOD's car, right? So then I realized in the conference that how many perks they are getting it there. So I begin the journey when we were in the final year ICMR grant. They give you 3,000, 6,000 rupees. Right now they increased, but that time was 3,000 rupees probably. So that is, so 1,000 rupees per year, 3-year project or 2-year project, 1,000, 1,500 rupees. So if you are going to have such idea, then your local public health department can collaborate with you. They will provide you statistical skills. Preventive medicine professors will help you to formulate the whole things. You are just going to either collect the data entry, because in India still we don't have that much of good data entry, or anywhere right now outside US, UK, Canada, and Dubai. The data entry is weak, so you can do it by yourself. And then local preventive medicine professors can help you to complete the project. And now the project will not be your responsibility to publish. It's their responsibility to publish because their name is inside. So they will have a kind of tempting that, hey, let's publish, let's publish. Makes sense. So try to distribute the work, not take responsibility only on you. Throw those responsibility on your mentors. So let them choose everything. Follow them what they are telling you. They will tell you, hey, do this, do that, do that, do that. But the responsibility becomes theirs, not yours. Make sense? So you are second year, third year, you can do the research. Second year research begin with case report writing. And you have so many in India assistant professors who wish to get it published. Right? So that's going to be easy. Now it's way easy because initial days, they don't have much awareness about research. But after 2019, I think I have noticed that all public health department, preventive medicine departments are very active in research.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. That was a very insightful answer, and I think it helped a lot of people. So before we could conclude this session, I have one last question for you. Like, what is the most important tip you would like to give the students who are going into the interview season now and in the application season from your side?
That's a really difficult question to answer. So there are many things, but if I want to tell you one tip is, the match is, as I mentioned, is the long journey, right? You never know you're going to match or not. It's a gamble, right? So do not stop until you are having a match in your hand, or you start your first day of residency. If you want to stop your research career at least. Why? Or even clinical. Why? Because you never know that your CV is very strong, but you don't match. So that means making your CV between September to February or March is as important or more important than making your CV between April to September. Major mistake people are doing it is they think it's good. Now we are good to go. We just have IV prep. No, it's not about, some people tell me that I'm busy with IV prep and my mentors are taking me for the session, etc., etc. I was like, I think your mentor charge $100 an hour. So you're not going to be busy more than 10 hours total during the season. So how can you be busy for IV prep if your hours are only 10? That means it's not true. That means you still needs to participate in research, in rotation, volunteer work, and your other activity. Because interview prep is like 10 hours, 15 hours. The day of interview, you're going to spend one day only. 5 interviews equal to 5 days. That's enough to match. So what about the rest of the days? So think about, you are making your CV not for today. Think about doing it for later on. And if, let's say, if you think your CV is complete, but you are interested in cardiology, then do research or rotation only now in cardiology between the September to March. So if you match, it's a good, you made your cardiology profile and connection from before you even match, right? So you can utilize that time in a good way.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. That was a very insightful and beautiful answer. And we had a lovely time in this session. And I hope a lot of people learned a lot and gained a lot of knowledge from you about research. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, Dr. Patel. And